I literally had a good fucking week too.
I
Like I almost had a
think
perfect week.
I think what was funny is that you texted me. It was like I was so close on these scores. I'm like, oh, I didn't look, and then as I look, I see that I officially got my fourth of the year.
Pretty sure it's still 5, but whatever. What is going on, guys? Week 18 of the NFL season is here. It is Nick's Picks, and I am joined, as I am always, by Ben. Ben, it is week 18 of the NFL season. A lot of playoff scenarios on the line this week, including your Atlanta Falcons. So going into it, how do you feel? Are you ready for this week 18?
See, the thing that sucks is that Atlanta has to have so much to go their way to win the division to make the playoffs. That's the only way they can do it is if they win the division. So we'll see what happens. I'm optimistic.
Well, there's a reason to be optimistic because last week I had a damn near perfect week. I had 18 points. I literally only got 2 predictions wrong, and I was so close on so many score predictions.
I was a little bit closer on one, I think.
Yeah, just a tad closer on one. We'll get into which one on the recap. But yes, before we get into this recap, Ben, even though I had 18 points last week, Ben had 21. So he is now up 45 in this. It is 218 to 173. Back to 45. This is still doable. I've done the math. As long as I don't fall below 50 by the end of this week, and I differ with you, and you just have to get every playoff pick wrong from here on out, I have a chance.
What are the odds on
or just, go nuts with score predictions or something stupid like that. But let's get right into the recap from last week. It started with the Thursday night game that we said you should just wait till Saturday for, between the Browns and the Jets. And unless you're a Browns fan and you love the fact that Joe Burrow is going absolutely fucking off, yeah, this really was nothing to watch. I mean, the Browns absolutely dominated the Jets in this one.
You know how so obscure? You said Joe Burrow and it's Joe Flacco.
Did I really say Joe Burrow?
You said Joe Burrow. But I guess that's how unlikely that is, because who would have thought that with Joe Flacco?
All right, let's get right into the controversy. The Cowboys beat the Detroit Lions 20-19 after I don't even remember who the player was, so I'm just going to say a player. Didn't report as eligible, and then caught the 2-point conversion, which would have given the Lions the lead. Would the Cowboys have managed to get downfield and score a field goal? Potentially, but come on. And I'm not going to say it was rigged, because at least the NFL kind of covered their asses by, actually punishing the refs for once. But yeah, that's... Cowboys won this one. They are in line to win the division because of something else that happened this week that we'll get to.
Something good, actually, in my opinion.
Something very good. Look, I said if we stay competitive with a legitimate playoff team like the Rams, who are now in the playoffs and have still continued to be hot, the offense looks good. I what do we do at quarterback? What do we even do at this point? Honestly, I'm on team fix the fucking O-line and see what happens next year with Daniel Jones. See what happens when you have a half-competent O-line and you can throw anybody in at quarterback. Let's just see what happens. Remember how I said the Dolphins can't beat good teams or winning teams? And then they beat the Cowboys and we're like, hey, the Dolphins did it. Yeah, the Dolphins have to fight now for the AFC East with the Buffalo Bills this week after getting demolished by the Baltimore Ravens, who are the clear number 1 seed going into this. AFC and NFC, honestly, in my opinion. Clear number 1 seed.
I think I forgot who said it, but there was someone that said Lamar is not quarterbacky enough, and then he literally just had a perfect passer rating.
The Bills, although narrowly, got this one done against the Patriots 27-21, leaving their hopes alive. They're in a unique situation this week where they could win their division or get knocked out of the playoffs by losing and having 2 other teams win in very winnable games for them. So yeah, it is a tough one for Buffalo this upcoming weekend, but they kept their hopes alive, beating the Patriots.
Anything more you want to say?
Nope. That is all.
We'll have it down.
Might have gotten the score correct. Well, let's transition, Ben, Mr. Smartass. The Bears and the Falcons, which I wish you had challenged this pick. 37-17. And
I will say
this. Have hope this week. You have the audacity to have hope. I don't even want to let you talk.
Can I at least say one thing?
What?
Even if I challenged and lost, I didn't think it was going to be this bad. I did not see this happening.
You know what? Double down. Because we both know what your Falcons pick is this week. We both know what else you've put on this Falcons pick this week. So fuck it, triple down. You have one challenge left. I'm not picking the Falcons this week. Do it.
We'll see.
The Indianapolis Colts went on to beat the Las Vegas Raiders 23-20, leaving the Colts' hope alive at the AFC South and the playoffs. I think it's still a three-way tie currently between the Texans, the Colts, and the Jaguars, so I really don't know. I think Jacksonville owns the tiebreaker, so all they have to do is win and they got it, but this is going to be an interesting week for the AFC South. Speaking of those Jaguars, they beat the Panthers. See, this is how good teams play football, by the way. They beat the Panthers, a bad football team, 26-0. Something the Falcons couldn't do. Also with the AFC South, the Texans went on to beat the Titans 26-3. So like I said, setting all that up for a three-way tie currently in the AFC South. I think only one or two of them have a legitimate can make the playoffs. I don't think all three can make it. So somebody's going to get left out. Somebody's going to win the South. It's going to be interesting. Speaking of interesting, the Philadelphia Eagles are probably the worst team going into this playoffs right now. Losing to the Arizona Cardinals 35-31. Yes, you put up 31 points. It's the Arizona Cardinals. You gave up 35 points to the Arizona Cardinals. Your defense is atrocious.
Then they also gave up like a 21-7 lead. Like they were up by a lot.
So
and they
this goes
it.
to show you how important offensive and defensive coordinators are. The Saints went on to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 23-13, which kept your hopes alive because the Buccaneers would have won the division had they won this game. But now it's just anyone's game in the NFC South just as well. I don't think it's the Falcons' game at all. Logistically, they're still in this game.
I think what's funny is that if Atlanta wins it, it'll be the second year in a row where it's a losing record.
The 49ers went on to beat the Commies 27-10. I was 3 points off on this score too, motherfucker. Yeah, the 49ers went on to beat the Commies. Cool. The Steelers keep their streak alive. They will finish above 500 this year. They might not make the playoffs. They have to win and hope a couple other teams lose in order to make it. But the Steelers keep their 500 above record alive as they beat the Seattle Seahawks 30-23. The Chiefs went on to beat the Bengals 25-17. Not as convincingly as we wanted it to be, though. This was about what we predicted it to be score-wise, but not what it was supposed to be for the Chiefs to actually start looking better. But they got the win. It's Patrick Mahomes, so you never really know how hot they could get in the playoffs, but I wouldn't put my money on the Chiefs. The Broncos went on to beat the Chargers 16-9. Doesn't matter. Neither team is going anywhere in this playoffs, so congratulations. And finishing it out with the Packers beating the Vikings. Slower texted me in the middle of this game and was like, say it with me. Jordan Love is a top 10 quarterback. Jordan Love is a top 10 quarterback in the NFC. Does that help you? That's, he might be like 8, 9, or 10.
So he might be 10, but he's top 10.
He's top 10 in the NFC. Packers will probably make the playoffs. And that rounded out week 17, leaving Ben with a 218 score, me with a 173 score, thanks to your score prediction. Otherwise, I would have had a better week than you. Like I said, you're just going to get every prediction wrong in the playoffs. Everything's going to go exactly the opposite of what you think it's going to. So I'm going to win. It's going to be fine. All right, so going into these Week 18 games, we are going to fly through a lot of these just because there's a lot of teams that are just not playing starters. A lot of teams that really don't need to play for anything, and there are some playoff scenarios in here. So these are just kind of clusterfuck. Like, I had no rhyme or reason to any of these picks. It is the Steelers going up against the Ravens. The Ravens are not playing any of their starters. I do know that for a fact. So I'm going with the Steelers.
I was like, yeah, I'm going with the Ravens, but like, I kind of just like, you know what? Why not?
I was kind of hoping. And moving on to the other game on Saturday, it is the Texans going up against the Colts. A battle for the AFC South potentially if the Jaguars are to lose to the Titans, which I don't see happening. But I do think the Texans go on to win this game, and I do think that will at least give the Texans a wild card berth in this playoffs, which hopefully could put them on a run because, like I said, as long as CJ Stroud is healthy, this team has a chance. So I do have the Texans winning this game. Colts put up a hell of a fight this year, but I think it's going to come to an end.
Yeah, I mean, the Colts did what they did better than I thought they were going to, if I'm being honest, but so did the Texans. So
moving on to the Sunday games, the Bucks going up against the Panthers. Are you really picking the Panthers?
Oh, God, no. I'm not that delusional.
Okay, I was going to say, like, because it's the only way that the Falcons can make the playoffs, right? You have to have the Bucks lose. There's no way you don't have to have the Bucks lose.
Oh, wait, they did need to lose.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. You dumb. Like, how the fuck did you think you were going to win this division without the Bucks losing?
I forgot about that.
Switch your pick. Switch your pick.
Okay, keep the scores that I send you, but we're going to switch them. Fuck it.
Yes!
Why not?
I wish I had challenges. God damn. That's just -1 for Ben. I'll take it. The Browns going up against the Bengals this week. Don't think the Bengals stand much of a chance. I don't think the Browns really have to play for much because I'm pretty sure they're locked in at a wild card no matter what. But yeah, I still think they beat the Bengals. Ben's not even paying attention.
Oh, no. Yeah, sorry. I was changing my pick. What did I say? Oh, yeah, I picked the Browns, too, because it's the Bengals.
The Lions going up against the Vikings this week. Lions don't have to play for much, but I'm going for it. I think the Lions still beat the Vikings. I don't think the Vikings have played all that well those last couple weeks, so I think the Lions backups will beat the Vikings. The Patriots going up against the Jets this week. I have the Patriots.
I have the Jets, but I really kind of just did a coin flip.
I had a feeling you had the Jets. That's why I have the Patriots. That's literally the only reason I have the Patriots is because I was pretty sure you picked the Jets.
I mean, I don't really like
Pretty much
it.
it. I'm just throwing some Hail Marys myself this week. Here we go. The Saints going up against the Falcons. It's decision time for you, Ben. You already have this as your wager pick, which is delusional enough. We'll get to more delusion in your 2-point conversion. But I want you to triple down on this. Challenge my pick. You have one left. We're only got like a handful of picks left. We're already like halfway through this list pretty much. Use it or lose it.
A wise man once told me to not hedge your bets. I'm not a good listener. I'm fucking challenging. Why not? Why fucking not?
Wow, so this makes all my other Hail Marys kind of worth it this week. So if anything, I'm probably just going to break even again. Moving on to my wager pick this week, the Jaguars going up against the Titans. I think the Jaguars win their division by beating the Tennessee Titans in this game. The Tennessee Titans will probably play hard, trying to play spoiler, but the Jaguars are just more talented, and they're going to be playing just as hard. The Seahawks going up against the Cardinals this week. The Cardinals did great against the Philadelphia Eagles. Hats off to them. Thank you. I wanted that so bad, and I got it. So that was a nice little New Year's gift from the Arizona Cardinals to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't think they beat Seattle, but, good. Thank you.
Lightning doesn't strike twice.
The Packers going up against the Bears this week. I am going with the Packers. Little gift to you slower. I mean, you guys have been playing well. Jordan Love's been playing well. I can't really talk shit. So at least your team can beat the Bears. The Chiefs going up against the Chargers this week. I don't think the Chiefs really have to play for anything. I think they already won their division, but I think they beat the Chargers because it's still the Chargers.
It's the backups, but it's the Chargers starters. So.
And I don't think the Chiefs want to end with a 10-7 record. So I bet you Patrick Mahomes starts in this game until they get up enough, and then he gets taken out. The Raiders going up against the Broncos this week. I have the Raiders. Do you have the Broncos?
Who do I have? No, I got the Raiders.
Damn it. The Eagles going up against the Giants this week.
Do you have the Giants?
I would love to knock off the Philadelphia Eagles. No, I don't have the Giants. But
I switched my pick. You should switch yours.
No. When we try to play spoiler, it doesn't work. It never works. We're not a good spoiler team. But it won't matter much because we'll get to why, because we have another game in between. 49ers going up against the Rams this week. Rams are locked in at a wild card. 49ers are locked in at the 1 seed. Neither team's really playing for much. Still think the 49ers win.
Well, we differ. I got the Rams.
You're a loser.
Says to the man who is up 45 points.
All right, so anyways, back to what we were talking about with the Giants and the Eagles. Doesn't matter that the Eagles beat the Giants because the Cowboys going up against the Commies. If the Cowboys win this one, the Cowboys win the NFC East. They have the 2 seed, and the Eagles drop all the way to the 5 seed, and I think that happens. I think the Commies are going to try to play spoiler, and I think the Commies are going to do a fairly good job at it for about 3 quarters. And then,
I think 2.
Yeah, maybe 2.5.
The big game.
And yes, the biggest game of the week. The Bills going up against the Dolphins. The Bills a lot on the line here. The Dolphins, if they lose this game, are still in a wild card position. However, the Buffalo Bills have lost a few head-to-head matchups this year. They are in a tougher spot. If they lose this game and both the Pittsburgh Steelers and I believe, who was the other one? The Jacksonville Jaguars win this upcoming week, then the Bills are out of the playoffs completely. They were my Super Bowl pick this season, so I have to go with Buffalo against the Miami Dolphins this week. I have to.
I don't even remember if I picked who I picked in the preseason.
It's just Miami didn't look great last week.
That's
Buffalo's
the main
been
reason
looking
why.
better every week since. And I'll have more to say in a second here with my 2 point. Let's get into the 2-point. My 2-point conversion is that Josh Allen is going to go off in this AFC East showdown, going for the AFC East crown. He is going to be the best player on the field, and he will put up 300 plus passing yards against this Miami Dolphins defense, which has just not been good against winning teams all season long. It's always their defense that has been like the absolute crumble of them. Look at last week. So yes, I think Josh Allen is going to go off this week, much like Lamar Jackson did last week without the rushing yards. Yes, 300 plus passing yards for Josh Allen.
All right, time for mine. Time for my like probably most wild 2-point I've had, which isn't saying much in the past like 4 years. I have doubled down on switching Panthers beating the Bucks. I have wagered Atlanta beating the Saints. I have challenged Nick picking the Saints. All this math in there. There's like around like 8 to like 10 points or so up for grabs that Nick could get back on here because I am so delusional. I'm not even gonna say count. I am so delusional. I am just gonna double down on my faith, and I am saying that Atlanta will have the most points out of anyone in the NFC South.
Well, we'll see how crazy all of this is, but that is it for Nick's Picks Week 18 and Nick's Picks Season 4 of the regular season. We still have the postseason to go. We will see what the score is going into it, but regardless, Ben is going to be up by an absurd amount, so I'm going to need a lot in the postseason. Hopefully, I can chunk into it a little bit this week with all your fucking craziness that you've done this week, but regardless, this is going to take a miracle. But Ben, it was a weird season all around.
Oh, yeah.
We lost quarterbacks. We lost just a whole bunch of key players around the league. And a lot of teams that we didn't think they were going to do much did really well. A lot of teams we thought were going to do really well aren't even going to be in the playoffs this year or struggled their way into the playoffs this year, like, you know, the Chiefs and the Eagles, who we thought were just going to go back to back. And real quick, before we get into the postseason, before these final teams make the playoffs, obviously the 49ers were your original Super Bowl pick. Is it still the 49ers? Do you think somebody else is going to win the Super Bowl at this point?
I'm going to stick with them because outside of the 3 games when they were like not healthy, they did lose close games and now they're back fully healthy. It depends because like obviously when they played against the Ravens, it wasn't a close game, but I think on a neutral field, it might be better. So I'm just kind of holding out there.
I obviously picked Buffalo, and there's a chance Buffalo does not make the playoffs after this week, but I don't think that happens. I think Buffalo will make their way into the playoffs by beating the Dolphins. Regardless, I don't think Buffalo is going on to win the Super Bowl this year. I would have to change my pick to the Baltimore Ravens at this point. I think Baltimore is just a clear-cut number 1 team right now. I do think it's anyone's game, and I do think this is a very wild chance that we get a wild card team to go on to win the Super Bowl this year, but you never know. But that is it for Nick's Picks Week 18. If you haven't already, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. Also, follow us on Twitch, follow us on Facebook, like I say every week. But we will see you guys in the postseason. I hope you guys enjoyed the regular season. Have a great one. Peace. Oh, another regular season in the books. And yeah, we're never having another season like that because 4 or 5 score predictions, whatever it fucking was, we have to go back and look. I mean, I'll believe you on the 4 since you have it in your notes, but like, I'm pretty sure I've been counting. Either way, ridiculous.
Yeah, no.
Second of all, I don't know. It just seemed like every time I had a good week, you had a better week. And every time I had a bad week, you had a great week.
And whenever I had a bad week, you also had a bad week. So like you can never capitalize. I think
Yeah. But I'll be better next year. I promise.
I'll just stay where I'm at here. I think I'm good here. Oh yeah. Bye guys.